Hello, my dear watchers. I just returned from Gopher conference Russia from Moscow and it was amazing. Yay! I don't have any stickers yet, but it's just because I was too lazy to stick them too. I returned a couple of hours ago. As you may know, I'm not a Golang developer. And the funniest thing is that I was able to talk with about 20 people yesterday on the Golang conference, and only about 5 of them were really Golang developers. Others were like Python developers, JavaScript, .NET, Java, and all that kind of stuff. And this is probably somehow a good representation of Golang community, because it's still quite young, and most of companies just start adding this technology to their stack. The same in my company. We don't have any Golang code now. I mean, we use Terraform, we use Docker, but we don't have any microservices written in Go, and we're just thinking about switching some of our Lambda functions from Node.js to Golang. And this will be my first topic today. You all may know that Golang is quite fast. It has very good lightweight concurrency model, actor-based model. And you may expect that if you switch your Lambda functions from Node.js to Golang, they will become drastically faster. But if you have seen my 2 weeks old video, you already know that it won't happen. Because of the way how AWS Lambda is implemented in terms of working with Go code. And among other topics, this one was also covered on the conference. So it's not quite right time for migration yet, but still I believe that pretty soon AWS will fix this issue and Golang will take its deserved place in AWS Lambda's pantheon. Okay, let's move on to the main topic I wanted to talk about today, and it is a Golang basics from Rubyists perspective. Today, tomorrow, most likely tomorrow because it's already night, I will release a second blog post in my Golang for Rubyists basic series in my blog, so feel free to check it out. I will include it in the show notes. Most likely, when you will be watching this video, this post will already be released. And today I will speak up the most significant WTFs and inconveniences I felt when I started learning and using Go. The first and the most important thing is that Golang is statically typed. Its list of types is more or less close to what you get used to in Ruby or JavaScript. However, there were some interesting things for me. The first one is that their array is fixed in size. It's still mutable, but you're gonna change its size. When you define the array, you should tell how many elements will it have. So you can change elements inside, but you cannot add more or remove some from there. You can just set it as new. Fortunately, they have a different type. It is slice, which looks like an array with variable length, at least for me. Probably it is not. From the point which I tried this slice, it was really similar. You can take length, you can add elements, you can remove elements. The only inconvenient thing for me is that they use curly braces there, not squared one as we get used to. However, for arrays, they use square braces. Also, it's worth to mention number system. In Ruby, if your number exceeds its space, interpreter automatically understands it and allocates additional memory, so to say, convert the type of this element, like from int to big int. But as you can imagine, in Golang, you should, from the start, understand which type do you need. And they have int32, int64, and etc. So you should really be aware of how big your numbers are going to be, and you should allocate, you should define this specific type for your variable or your constant. Also, funny thing that they have separate type for unsigned integers. So integers which cannot be negative. Yeah, and they also have float numbers for sure. Float 64, float 128. Another interesting thing I found is that you are really limited to how you can name your main function in your main Go file, and its name is main. Ta-da! Main function in main file. Its name. It's main, and there is no choice. Obey the rules. Third thing is syntax sugar. There is no syntax sugar. Do you like to access your last element with .last? Or probably you want to access your second from the end element in your array by square braces -2 index. Forget it, dudes. There is no such thing in Golang. You should write square brackets, their length, your array minus something like -2, and you will get what you want. But I'm still a fan of Ruby's syntactic sugar. I don't like active support because it's too hacky, too monkey patching. But the Ruby itself, this was the thing I loved the most when I just started using Ruby, and I still love it. I believe this is really important for developers, at least for some developers maybe, to not care much about the internals, but to build the business logic. However, in the opposite, this is really nice in languages like Go, that you can understand the internals, you can understand how your system works on a kind of a low level. Yes, Golang is not too low level language, it's not like C, but it's much more low level than Ruby. I believe even if you don't use such languages in production, it's still worth to learn them and to try to build some usual things using these languages. Like now I'm playing with different data structures, and it's really interesting to work with them in Golang. The last thing I wanted to say is that Golang doesn't have any interactive shell like IRB or Pry, but they have, and its name is Gosh. Even if by me it's not as useful as my beloved Pry, it still can give you a very, very good playground if you don't want to compile and recompile your files back and forth. It's not back and forth, it's only forth, but still. And this is it for the start. I'm just starting my Go path, so you may expect to hear more from me about this topic, and I will definitely write about this as well. If you also just starting this path, starting this way, go and check out my blog. As I said, most likely in the moment when you're watching this video, I will already have at least 2 posts on this topic, and probably even 3, 4 or 5 or millions. No, I won't. 2. This is enough. This is enough to cover all the Golang basics. Okay, jokes aside, go and check my blog posts. They are much more meticulously written, and they are much more verbose, much less jokes. There is not enough jokes in my videos as well. I have to add some jokes. Should I? No, probably not. Have a great week start after the great week end. See you all tomorrow.